Another episode of Sip Happens 1031 edition. Stay tuned. Hi, well, thanks for stopping by. Sip Happens Real Estate Edition. Today's guest is Rick Corbera from First American Exchange, and he's going to tell us what 1031 exchange is. However, before we start that, we're going to start with the wine.
The good stuff.
Yes. So today's choice is from Northern Reserve. It's Malbec 2022, and it's Argentinian wine. It's red. I do love Argentina or Chile for red. I don't discriminate for French wines, but my choice is Chile or...
Nice. That's a great choice.
Yes.
Great choice.
And I use Coravin. Nothing to do with them. I don't get paid for talking about it, but I highly recommend to have this, especially if you have a good wine and it's just you drinking it.
Wow.
And you don't need to kill yourself.
Oh, wow. That's easy.
And it pours a perfect...
Look at that.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is I learned when during COVID, you would have very expensive wine, but you can't finish it in 2 days. You can actually save your wine between 3 to 6 months.
Oh, wow.
You just need to make sure it's an actual cork. Once you take it out, the cork will close. But
There you go. That's really cool.
People finish their bottles with the same day. Hold up.
I like to savor my wine. That's
Yeah.
why. Well,
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Cheers.
for stopping by.
It's really good. Mm-hmm. Good blend, good body.
This is what I call wine.
Yeah, that's really good. It's full. It's not light at all, which is great.
Not at all. I'm glad you like it. As I tried it, I'm like, if you're not a wine drinker, this would be way too much for you.
Yeah,
But
no, I love wine. I grew up with wine.
nice.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, we can continue enjoying it. I can pour as much as you'd like. But I also wanted our people watching us to kind of know, what is 1031?
You know, it's a good question. A lot of people don't understand or know what a 1031 is, or know that they need it until the very last second. But a 1031 is just a tax deferment. So what you're doing is you're just deferring your capital gains. So if you have an investment property and you make money on it, that profit, all you're doing is you're buying another real estate portfolio or another property, because if you don't, then you got to pay taxes to the government. So 1031 exchange is you're exchanging pretty much your profit into another property, so that way you don't pay taxes on it.
And can anyone do it? Does it have to be investment property, or can it be like, can I go buy a house for myself, sell mine, and buy
Great
another
question.
one?
So it's for investment property only. So it's not for primary residence, unfortunately. So so if you want to get into investing, so you would buy your investment, and then after you sold, you would have to do a 1031 exchange if you did not want to pay taxes on it. But yes, it's only for investment or investment properties that are held for investment.
And how does it work? So I purchased a $1 million property. Mm-hmm. Next year, I want to sell it and get another one. Good
question. So it's simplified a way to work. So if your $1 million property, once you decide to sell, you have 2 dates you got to remember. You have to remember a 45-date rule, and then another rule, which is a 180 days rule. And then you have to buy something at equal or greater in value. What that means is you have to buy something at $1 million or more. Mm-hmm. That's it. So, but if you decide to trade down, let's say, you want to cash out a bit of money, that's totally okay. So you can go from $1 million to $900,000. You just have to pay the delta, the taxes on the $100,000 on that difference. That's the only benefit. That's the only disadvantage of that.
And then, so the 45 and 180, is it going to be escrow to know about it, or your company does it? How does that work?
So we work in hand with escrow. Mm-hmm. So we got to set up the exchange prior to the sale of the investment property. Then you have the 45 days to kind of look for property, identify, and then you have the 180 days to close on that property. So we work hand in hand with escrow. And what happens is once you close on the escrow, we actually hold the funds for you. So that's the part of what we call a QI, qualified intermediary, which we are. So we have to hold the funds in order for that exchange to be successful. Unfortunately, the investor cannot hold their own funds. So if they do, then they have to pay capital gains on it.
I see. And then how many properties can they choose?
Good question. So there are several rules. There's 2 rules. The first rule is they can pick up to 3 properties, regardless of the fair market value. So if they got $1 million, they can identify 3 properties, $1 million or more. Or rule number 2 is they can buy as many properties as they want, but they cannot exceed a 200% rule, which means they can buy as many properties, but they cannot exceed over $2 million of worth of properties.
I see. Okay. And this is, I'm assuming, good for the seller, not the buyer.
Correct. This is good for the seller. So you have clients. So for example, if you have somebody who has a high net worth, a big real estate commercial building, let's say $100 million, they will most likely do rule number 2, where they'll most likely diversify their portfolio, buy apartment buildings, a few residential buildings, or a strip mall, so they can diversify. Versus, let's say, your mom and pop will most likely do rule number 1, well, they'll most likely replace it with another single family or another 1-for-1 property. So, but that's a really good question. So yeah, so there are multiple avenues the way you can challenge or attack the 1031 exchange.
And is it California only?
It's actually a federal tax, so you actually can exchange anywhere in the United States. You're not bound to California. So you can go any state you would like.
But not internationally.
Not international. So actually there's one, I don't know the top of my head, but there is one country that is international that we do allow exchange. It's a little tricky though, because you have to convert the money. There's a lot more to it, but in hindsight, let's just stick with America for right now. Yeah.
But it's good to know that they can do it throughout the whole
Yes,
America.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. United States or America?
United States.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, just clarifying. Anything else we need to know about 1031 exchange?
So the good thing at 1031 exchange, the main benefit is for long term. That's the main goal. So if you're an investor or want to get into investing, know that 1031 is designed for you to reinvest and to keep upgrading. So the reason why I say upgrading is because it forces you to buy equal or greater, right? Long term, your benefits are ones that actually benefit from your labor force. So for example, if you decided, to start your portfolio and then 20 years it grows to 5-10 million, your heirs, when they take over it, can take it and sell it, all of the assets, and not pay any taxes on it. So that's called a step up in basis. Okay, that's the benefit of doing exchange. So that's how you keep wealth. That's how you preserve old money. So you see these houses that are 150 million, 30 million. How do they? It's just they just keep inheriting and pass it down to their heirs. So.
One last question. Can it be just individual, or it has to be LLC, or?
It could be multiple. It could be an individual. It could be an LLC. It could be a trust. The rule of thumb is the same taxpayer has to do the exchange. So what does that mean? So let's say you bought a property and you had it rented out and then you put it under your trust. Rick LLC Trust or Rick ABC Trust. When I sell that property, Rick ABC Trust has to do the exchange.
I see.
So, but yes, anybody can do the exchange. It's how you hold your title. It just has to do the same exchange.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. If anyone
pleasure.
has any questions, they can contact me and I'll put you in touch with them.
Yes, she's the go-to expert on investments. So any investments, just know 99.9% of the time you will have to do an exchange, and she is the best at what she does, and that's why I'm here.
And so are you. Thank you so much.
I've worked with her, and I have nothing but kudos, and she definitely knows, and you're in good hands, and you need somebody like her to guide you through to keep growing your portfolio and keep doing the right choices.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of course.
Likewise.
Cheers.
Nice.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Cheers.